Krishna Prasad. I'm back with another video just as promised. Today I'll be making a really special dish for all of you guys. It's noodles. We all love it really well, but it's very unhealthy, so we just generally tend to eat it less frequently than other foods. But this noodles, as we know, was originated way back than we think. It was first originated in China long before even Christ was born. But do you know how did it come to India? When Chinese immigrants first came to Kolkata, they made noodles out of the things that were available locally in Kolkata. So that noodles was called Hakka noodles. Hakka means nomadic people and noodles means just the noodles. So Hakka noodles was originated just like that. And after that, the Chinese kept making more noodles, and it was a blend of Indian and Chinese cultures. So the noodle is actually a really it was a long process when it came to India. And in the 70s and 80s, there was a brand called Maggi, which was by Nestle. It was a Swiss company, and it was first advertised in India, and when it came to India, it was really popular, and no house is complete without it today. It's a really popular brand, as all of you know it, and that brand sells instant noodles and we all love it. But today I'm going to be making another version of it. It's really tasty, really yummy, and it's filled with vegetables, and also it has a really amazing taste to it, a little bit of Indian and a lot of Chinese taste. So let's get started with it.
The ingredients for the recipe are 3 medium carrots. Then you will need 1 capsicum medium and a few beans, 3 small onions and 1 whole garlic, a small piece of ginger. Then you will need oil. I'm using roasted sesame oil. It works best for Chinese dishes. Then you will need soaked red chilies. You need to make a paste out of them for the recipe. Then you will need chili tomato sauce 1 teaspoon. If you don't have chili tomato sauce, what you can do is add 1 teaspoon of chili sauce and 1 teaspoon of tomato sauce. Then you will need soy sauce 1 teaspoon. Then you will need chili flakes about 2 teaspoons. It's depending on your spice tolerance, okay? Then you will need the main ingredients for the recipe, that is the noodles. I'm using 3 noodles. You can use any noodles, but thin noodles are preferred for the recipe. Okay, then you will need black pepper about 1 to 2 teaspoons depending on your spice tolerance. Okay, then you will need salt as per your preference and taste, because there's always a chance that you like it more or less salty than I do. So there's no accurate measurement for the salt. Then you will need vinegar. It's very important for Chinese dishes. You need only half teaspoon. You can also use 1 teaspoon, but I'm using half. Then we'll need to boil the noodles. We'll need to add 2 teaspoons of oil to this and let this water boil. So we're going to add salt to this noodle water. Adding salt enhances the flavor of the noodles. It also reduces the temperature of the water so that the noodles can cook properly. It has been a while now, about 8 minutes, and let me check if the noodles are done. Now to check, just take 1 noodle and just press it. If it gets pressed really well, that means your noodles is just done and it's time to turn it off. Now if it is fully mushy and all the noodle grains are broken and it's like becoming like a paste, this means that your noodle is overcooked. So we don't want to overcook the noodles. We want the noodle strands to be really long. So for that you have to just cook until it's right done. Okay, now the noodles are all done. Let's strain the noodles really well. We want the noodles to be dry. After straining, we will keep them under the fan. Now let's wash it with plain water because we want to remove the excess starch so that it doesn't become sticky. Starches tend to make noodles really sticky. Now here are the chopped vegetables. I've chopped up all of the vegetables. Now let's mix all of the sauces. So first take 2 teaspoons of red chili paste. This paste is made from the soaked red chilies that I showed you earlier. Now let's mix tomato sauce. I'm taking about 1 teaspoon of tomato sauce and 1 teaspoon of soy sauce. I'm using dark soy sauce. If you're using light soy sauce, make sure to use 2 teaspoons. So now let's mix these things really well. Now the last and one of the most important ingredients for the recipe is white vinegar. You can use any other vinegar, but to keep things neutral, I'm using synthetic white vinegar, about half a teaspoon. So let's mix in really well. So now let's keep it aside. Now let's heat up the oil in a kadhai. The kadhai should be well preheated before we add the oil. Now let's heat it until we see fumes from it. Now after we have done that, we will add 2 teaspoons of chopped ginger and garlic. We don't need to make a paste out of them. We just need to chop it fine. Now I've added 2 teaspoons of it, and now I'm letting this heat really well up to 30 seconds. Now we don't want it to be overdone, just about 20 seconds is enough. So the garlic and ginger are done. Now let's add all of the sauce. Now we need to let the oil cook in the sauce, otherwise you won't get a smoky flavor. Now let's keep stirring it. Now let's add all of the chopped vegetables into the oil. Now we want to cook these vegetables, but we don't want them to lose their crunch. We want the vegetables to be crunchy but not raw. So this is how we want the vegetables for making noodles, fried rice, etc. Most Indo-Chinese recipes need that crunch in the vegetables. So after you're done with the vegetables, add pepper, but don't add the salt now, as adding salt will make the vegetables lose water through osmosis and it will taste really soggy. So we want to add the salt only after we add the noodles. So I'm adding about 1 teaspoon of pepper powder. Now let's add a lot of pepper and mix it in really well. So pepper gives a really nice and different kind of spicy taste to this. Now let's stir that in, and after that let's add all of the noodles into this. Now we're going to add salt as per your liking. I've added a little bit salt now and a little bit in the end. Now let's toss all of these veggies and noodles in really well. I'm not an expert in tossing, but I'm trying my best. So let's toss in all of the vegetables. Now let's add all of the chili flakes, and let's keep a little bit for the garnishing also. Chili flakes are really good. When you bite in a little bit of chilies, it gives you nice heat and you can enjoy the noodles, especially if you're a spice lover. If you're not a spice lover, you may skip the chilies. Now the noodles are already perfectly nice, aromatic, really tasty. So if you like the noodles and you like the recipes that I post, do subscribe and like, and also share it with your friends and family, as I make all of my recipes with a lot of research and love. Please support this channel and subscribe.